How's it going, everybody? My name is Mason Holton. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about whether you need a bug out vehicle specifically designated to get you and your family out of a SHTF situation. So do you need a bug out vehicle as an everyday prepared civilian? Now, when most people think of bug out vehicles, they think of this machine that's sitting next to me, which is a 1986 Chevy CUCV. It's the military version of the Chevy K20 for that year. It's basically a Humvee with a truck bed. This is a little extreme when it comes to bug out vehicles, but this is usually what people think of, either a Humvee or big off-road tires, just a monster truck to get them out of danger. And while that is a good platform to have, it's not necessarily the best platform for you and your family. For example, this is a bench seat. It's a single cab. I don't have a whole lot of room in my cab. So if I were trying to bug out with me, my wife, and our 2 children, it would be extremely difficult. Not only that, this is a relatively unreliable vehicle.
We got one problem. We don't have any water.
How about pissing in it?
I'm working on getting it more reliable to build it into a kind of a rescue truck, but where it's at right now, it is not a reliable enough vehicle where I would put my trust in it. Now, if you start talking about EMPs and stuff, that situation, a truck like this might survive, might not, depending on how severe the EMP is. But this truck is much more likely to survive an electromagnetic pulse than, say, my actual bug out vehicle that I have prepped all the time. So let's go take a look at that. So this is my primary bug out vehicle. It's a 2016 Ram 2500, obviously with a diesel in it. This vehicle is much more reliable. It's got a full cabin in it, so I can fit me and my family very comfortably. And it is large enough to tow any trailer or any equipment that I need to have. The other thing is, it's a very tall vehicle. When it comes to bugging out, you want something, the taller the better. You get better clearance and better performance through water, the more clearance you have off the ground. A 4-wheel drive, it's probably my most capable vehicle that I have, making it my primary bug out vehicle. Now, do you really need a bug out vehicle? And that's a good question. When it comes to bugging out, this seems to be a trend that comes and goes in the preparedness community. A lot of people, they'll go from, no, you should always bug in, no, you should always bug out. I think if you have the ability to stay at your house, that is where all your equipment is, and you should try your best to stay there. However, we look at certain cases like the Ohio train derailment, or even chemical fires that have been happening all over the United States in the last few years. Sometimes bugging in is not an option. It would be dangerous to your health to stay at your house. And situations like that call for you to get out of Dodge. The other thing we have to think about is weather. Where I live in the South, it is hurricane season right now. If a hurricane is big enough and bad enough and heading straight towards us, it is a good idea to move away from the coast and get inland. That doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get away from a storm. We see that in North Carolina, where they weren't expecting a storm at all, and they got absolutely slammed last year by Hurricane Helene. So, necessarily, do you need a bug out vehicle? I would say you don't need a dedicated bug out vehicle like this one. I think you should be looking for a vehicle that is 4-wheel drive, has some ability to get you over small obstacles, and is relatively fuel efficient. Now that's a big one, because if fuel becomes a problem, your bug out vehicle is only going to take you approximately 400 miles, 400 to 500 miles, depending on what kind of car you have, on 1 tank of gas. 400 to 500 miles does not get you outside of that range, and it actually puts you directly in line with everybody else that is trying to get out. That's assuming you have a full tank when everything goes bad, or a couple extra gallons sitting around. So you want something that is incredibly durable, reliable. Toyotas are always a good bet. Hondas are always a good bet. I've had really good luck with Rams. I like Rams. I've also had really good luck with Ford. It doesn't matter really what you have. What matters more is your ability to drive it and your ability to get out of a situation before it really becomes necessary where you need something that's big and off-roady with knobby tires and everything else. Now, if you have the possibility, a diesel is always going to be your best option. Diesels are notoriously more fuel efficient. They will go way further and the engines last longer than a gas car. If you can find something that's four-wheel drive and a diesel, you would be set. Anything like that, incredible cars. They will take you way further, and you don't need to have the knobbiest car. You just need to know when to get out. So when's the right time to get out? Like I said, with a hurricane, if you know a hurricane's coming directly towards you, the right time to get out is probably before they issue mandatory evacuations. Unless you're just planning to stick it out no matter what, which I wouldn't suggest. If you know that your area is going to get hit hard and they're probably going to issue mandatory evacuations, it's probably a good idea to get out before the swarm. That goes into knowing more about your area and geo-mapping what is around you. For example, in my situation where I live, I have to pass through a densely populated city to get to a freeway, and that freeway is 95. 95, when a hurricane happens, becomes gridlocked. So knowing how to get around 95 and use back roads and get through the downtown area to get to those back roads is incredibly crucial to my evacuation plan. If I don't have those set up, then I'm gonna be gridlocked like everybody else, and it doesn't matter how knobby my tires are or how capable my vehicle is if I'm stuck sitting in traffic burning fuel. With all that being said, my recommendation is don't go out and put yourself in debt buying a vehicle. Go out and do the planning and do your routes so that your vehicle that you currently have now is capable of getting you and your family out of an area in a short amount of time. The vehicle you have now, make sure that you have your maintenance up to date. Make sure that you've done your tires. If you're running on ball tires, if you can, have a full-size spare. All of these things are simple things that aren't going to put you in massive debt trying to go get a new car. It is better for you to take care of the vehicle that you have now and plan better, which is free. A lot of apps, you just go on Google Earth and pull up a map and see what's the best route to get out of your area. Having that in place already is going to set you way farther above everybody else who's just jumping in their car and trying to get out of Dodge. So thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you taking your time and watching this. If you learned something from this, let me know, and drop a follow and subscribe if you want to keep seeing videos like this. We're going to do more content, especially on the CUCV, as I build it out to the ultimate survival machine, and it should be a good time. So like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.